Hey everybody and welcome back. It's been literally no time for me whatsoever because we're racing forward, but it's been a week for you guys. Definitely, we're going to keep going on. Napoleon, to recap, we had some issues. Mantua was under siege. The Austrians sent in their reinforcements, the big bad armies. You got a northern army converging downward. You got a northeastern army sort of converging westward, really. Actually, it's more like east-northeast, but yeah. Eastern Army converging westward, Northern Army converging southward, trying to meet and plow Napoleon down. Go and reinforce Mantua, resupply them, get them their fresh troops, get them all patched up, end of the siege, all that. That was what was going on last time. Napoleon tried to make a desperate attack, and he failed. He failed to cut off the line of communication. Failed to cut off the advance of the Eastern Army going westward. But something's going on up north in Rivoli. Is there going to be hope after all? Let's see.
Not only does Vaubois still hold the town, he hasn't even been attacked yet.
What?
Napoleon's line of retreat remains secure for at least a few days more.
That's completely freaking insane, by the way. How is it that how have the Austrians not even made it that far? Napoleon's gonna start scheming. You know it. His line of retreat is still open. That means he might think of something.
It's all the reassurance he needs. He immediately cancels his retreat and issues orders to attack.
Let's go, Napoleon! The Battle of Arcole! Day 2! Let's go!
Napoleon has lost the element of surprise, and Alvinci is now planning his own counterattack. Overnight, his troops edge forward. Provera to Belfiore di Porcile, Mitrovsky back into Arcole. Both armies are on the move before dawn. Massena sends skirmishers into the marshland. When the Austrians arrive, bunched up on the causeway, they make easy targets.
This is actually kind of an interesting thing, is that these causeways are just like, they're lines of, in paths of march. They can't really deviate from them properly. So as the troops march forth, if you kind of peninsula them, you've gotten 3 different angles from which to attack them. You're going to actually be considerably more successful than they are when they're trying to fight you in the causeway.
After a sharp fight in which an Austrian general is killed, Massena's men are driving the enemy before them.
Massena, let's go!
Augereau, however, cannot get close to Arcole.
This sucks though, they had Arcole for a little bit, didn't they?
The causeway is still swept by Austrian musket fire and canister from across the Alponi. Napoleon orders troops to cross downstream at Albaredo, but the Austrians now have 2 battalions guarding the crossing point. French attempts to float or swim across the river come to naught. Day 2 of the battle ends in stalemate.
Stalemate is still better than defeat.
Many soldiers have to camp amid the marshes and get what food and rest they can. Napoleon will try once more to break through, but he is running out of time.
The Battle of Arcole, Day 3!
Davidovich, who by now has received several urgent requests from Alvinci to advance, finally attacks on the 17th of November.
What the hell was holding that guy up? Like, he didn't wanna? I mean, man, I didn't... So, this is the big shock for me, is that he was completely successful marching down the mountains. And you know what? Let's just stay in Rivalta, you know? We're not... Why even go down south? Why? What's the point? We just sit around here and relax, you know? It Seems like such a interesting thing to happen. These things change the course of history, man.
Vaubois' outgunned division breaks. The Austrians take Rivoli and 1,000 prisoners, and nearly capture Vaubois himself.
Oh no.
With Davidovich on the move at last, Napoleon must force a decision at Arcole or retreat. The bridge at Arcole has proved too tough to crack. So Napoleon switches tactics. Augereau's division will cross the Alpone and attack Arcole from the south in force.
That bridge is just the end of them right now, like the bane of their existence. It's better to just avoid it altogether, I guess.
A column is sent 10 miles south to cross at Legnago, and then race back up the eastern bank to support him. Massena will advance up the causeway in support, while also protecting the left flank.
Massena's responsibility is very, very high right here. Dude, not only have troops advance up the causeway to go and fight and hope that they take the bridge from the center of that whole upsurge, but then also to swing back around to Bionde and prevent the advance of the other troops there. That's kind of insane. Massena is the kind of person who Napoleon puts a lot of faith in. You got to respect that. You got to respect Massena. Like, there's no way Napoleon doesn't, so I feel like I must.
That night, the French assemble a pontoon bridge over the Alpone. Augereau's division begins crossing before dawn. But at sunrise, Austrian gunners in Albaredo spot the bridge and score a hit, knocking it out of action. Only the 51st Demi Brigade is across, though it gamely begins to advance on Arcole. Massena's advance is also hamstrung by a broken pontoon bridge. To add to the crisis, the Austrians launch an attack on the fragile French bridgehead.
Uh-oh.
Napoleon gathers every available gun to blast the Austrians, who fall back under a withering barrage.
Wise, very wise.
The bridges are quickly repaired. But as the French advance, they encounter stubborn opposition on both sides of the Alpone. A bloody seesaw battle surges back and forth along the causeways. Neither side can deploy its troops, nor gain an advantage.
And realistically, both of them can see each other, right? Because the causeways are not that far apart. Well, the causeway isn't that far apart from the main chunk of the land. So what's going on is, you've got an army that's looking to the other side and saying, there's the other half of us. We can't do anything really to help them. Unless we set up guns to rain fire on them, or on their opposition, we can do nothing. We just have to see. So there's this seesaw yo-yo effect where troops are going to make a minor advancements and encroachments and then be a little bit skeptical of what's going on the other side. It's gonna screw with morale slightly from piece to piece of that fight.
Around 3 p.m., the French column from Legnago arrives, threatening to turn the Austrian flank. Just as Arcole seems about to fall, the Austrians launch a ferocious counterattack across the bridge.
Really?
Brigadier General Robert is killed. His troops fall back in disarray.
Uh-oh. See, this is what's going on. The one side of that bridge, like, they threw themselves across the bridge, rushed down the causeway, been slaying everything in their path. And so now France is a little bit like, I don't know. They're losing on the other side, and so that's changing their decisions a little bit.
The panic is contagious.
Yep.
Augereau's men lose their nerve and fall back to the bridge. The moment of crisis has arrived. But while the enemy has just used his last reserves, Napoleon can call on Massena's unengaged troops, including the elite 32nd Demi Brigade. Their sudden counterattack turns the tide. Massena's men sweep up the causeway, taking
Nice. That pincer right there. 2 different pincers collapsing on a bunch of Austrians right in that little part of the causeway. That's fantastic.
scores of prisoners as Augereau's division resumes its advance. As they approach Arcole, Napoleon arranges a small ruse de guerre. 25 of his elite escort sweep in from the east, blowing bugles to feign a mass cavalry charge.
That's really smart. Given that they haven't done a whole lot of big feigns, that one will spook everybody, because then they're going to fear encirclement.
In the evening light, it's enough to scare the remaining garrison into abandoning the village. As the French continue their advance, Alvinci orders his exhausted, demoralized army to retreat east, to Montebello, to protect its lines of communication.
That is such a massive victory! That's such a much needed thing right now in that campaign. That's insane.
The 3-day Battle of Arcole has been a messy, bloody affair, with no great tactical flourishes.
Right, but still, they're still making gains here. That is the biggest thing. They won the area and they made the gains. That's the big deal. 1400 is still a big deal. That's the separation here.
Napoleon's margin of victory is narrow, and a third of his army are casualties. But he has done enough. For now.
Correct. It took a good luck to defeat Alvinci. Yes, it did! Napoleon is not a man without some humility. It took a bit of luck here. That was yikesy. Yikesy schmikesy. One of the main things is that he wouldn't have even bothered to stay and fight if it weren't for the fact that the northern troops from Austria, they just never even showed the fuck up. Took days and days.
Alvinci may be withdrawing, but Davidovich remains a threat.
Right.
The next day, Napoleon sets off at his customary pace with Massena's division to reinforce Vaubois. Augereau takes a different route to threaten the Austrians' line of retreat.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
The confusion that follows between Alvinci and Davidovich verges on farce. Alvinci writes to his corps commander, informing him that he will support him by resuming his advance. But Davidovich, having heard of the defeat at Arcole and now directly menaced by Napoleon, is already retreating.
Dude, Davidovich could have stopped all of this just by being slightly less mopsy-dopsy around coming down the hills. That's all it would have taken, and this would have been a completely different story.
Receiving Alvinci's letter, however, he tries to turn his army around.
Oh no, you
leading
can't
to
do
such
that.
chaos that he has to immediately countermand that order and resume his retreat.
I'm gonna say, you can't do that. You can't do too many pivot changes there. This is not gonna work.
The end result is that both Austrian armies are soon withdrawing.
Yeah.
And with exquisitely poor timing, gallant old Wurmser chooses this moment to launch his supporting attack from...
Don't burn. No! Why would you do that? Wurmser is the king of, we're gonna do this. We're gonna stand up and fight. And then it's all garbage. It's all garbage day. All garbage day. The minor little sorties he's gonna do around the town, they're going to amount to absolutely nothing. He's got no reinforcements. It's over. This is over.
Mantua.
Over.
He does at least secure some much-needed supplies, at a cost of 800 casualties.
Yep.
It has been a bruising campaign for Napoleon. By some estimates, he has lost more men than the Austrians. He has suffered his first defeat in battle, and won a costly, messy victory at Arcole. But he has beaten the odds and thrown back the enemy. What's more, his heroic conduct at the bridge at Arcole will soon take on a life of its own. Artists and pamphleteers turn a slightly embellished version of events into a sensational piece of personal PR.
Bonaparte!
Captivates France.
Absolutely gorgeous. The man! He is becoming a superstar here. This is where it begins, really. I mean, it really, truthfully, all the way back to that one little naval skirmish back at that one port town, you know, just so many episodes ago, 1 month ago on our channel. But this man is really starting to emerge. He's on his Luffy path here.
With Napoleon's active encouragement, the world is witnessing the birth of the Napoleonic legend.
Bonaparte at the Bridge of Arcole by Antoine Jean Gros in 1797.
Powerful force that will inspire loyalty and devotion.
The Battle of Arcole Bridge by Horace Vernet, 1826. That's a lot later, but
many years to come.
Yeah, many years to come indeed. That's after Napoleon's gone.
For now, both armies settle into winter quarters, as December brings bitter cold and heavy snow to northern Italy. In Mantua, the Austrian garrison is near its limit. Starvation beckons, though Wurmser is determined to hold out to the last. The Austrians will have one last chance to save the city. A final offensive to decide the outcome of the war in Italy.
Dude, Rivoli. Alright, well, we're gonna start off a little bit here. Part 5, Rivoli. Let's see.
January 1797.
Let's see.
A new year, but familiar problems for 27-year-old General Bonaparte, waging war against the Austrians in northern Italy.
Indeed.
He has the great fortress city of Mantua under siege. And after a narrow victory at Arcole, he's once again driven back the Austrian armies trying to march to its aid.
Dude actually saved Arcole. He saved it. He barely saved it. All the way, not too far away from Mantua. That fight was the big one right there. That was the big turnaround that's kept Mantua from being reinforced. If the Austrians reinforced Mantua, it'd be over.
But the French army of Italy is in a ragged state. Troops have not been paid for weeks. Their uniforms are disintegrating. Their shoes are broken. And above all, they're hungry. One of Napoleon's major concerns is the wretched state of medical care for his men. The hospitals lack everything. Our wounded are lying on the floors and in the most horrible state of destitution.
These people are just sitting there dying on the floor. That's bad. So bad. So very bad.
It's not just a question of saving lives and getting wounded men back to their units. Medical care affects morale.
Indeed.
As troops going into combat want to know that if the worst happens, they'll be looked after.
That is something that can't actually be understated. You gotta know that. You gotta have faith. You gotta have faith in your fellow man, and that's one of the hard parts about morale.
Conditions are much worse for the Austrian garrison of Mantua, commanded by Field Marshal Wurmser. In 4 months of siege, 9,000 soldiers have died from disease, wounds, or the effects of malnutrition.
Oh my god. Dude, the garrison is screwed! Oh my god. The 1/3, just above a third of them are even remotely fit to do anything.
Survivors live off horse meat.
Oh,
Civilians off rats and dogs.
Yeah.
Even these miserable rations will run out by the 27th of January, just a few weeks away.
Imagine the civilians' lives and livelihoods when they're not doing that, and something either happens, something bad, or something good, called Napoleon, who frees Mantua from this ridiculous siege.
The clock is ticking. The Austrians must relieve Mantua by that date, or lose the city.
Oh yeah.
And with it, the war in Italy.
They should have already... See, this is before the winter, with the things going on where they just couldn't reinforce. They should have surrendered. They should have said, you know what? Let us leave the city, and you can have it. You get to surrender on your own terms. It sucks for Austria, but damn, they've just... After what happened in that last fight, there is no way that they should believe that they're going to be able to hold on to it. There's no way. There's no way. The enemy is withdrawing his troops from the Rhine to send them to Italy. Do the same. Help us. We're only asking for more men. Napoleon to the Directory, 20th of December, 1796. Now, this is impressive because the main campaign in Austria versus France is not even going on here. It's going on up north. Way up north. Around the Rhine. And they're taking troops out of the Rhine to go and help fight the Italy fight, because Napoleon has been just an absolute thorn in the side of the Austrians, completely demolishing every single attempt to reinforce and save Mantua that's happened. They're winning Italy, and they're helping win up north too.
Napoleon, having received just 7,000 reinforcements, prepares to meet Alvinci's advance. He will not only be outnumbered, he doesn't know where his enemy will strike.
To be fair, that's not really outnumbered at that point. I mean, it is technically, but 46 to 47 is not a big disparity here. I mean, he had worse outnumbering issues in the prior conflicts.
And Napoleon must hold one division back to cover Wormser's garrison.
Right.
It's commanded once more by General Serrurier.
Serrurier is he's holding Wormser very well, and he only needs 10,000 men because Wormser can't force his way out of the city. He's working with not even 10,000 of that original 30 nearly in Mantua when they were first resupplying Mantua.
Recovered from his long illness. Augereau's division watches the Adige, while Massena guards Verona. The Northern Division has a new commander. Napoleon has sacked Vaubois for his poor performance and put in his place General Barthélemy Joubert. See, this is what Napoleon does really, really well. He finds issues in parts of the army and solves them by, doing a little bit of change up. This is not what always would have happened. You had some noblemen who were not doing a good job. Cough, cough, the guy sitting in Mantua right now, just making very poor decisions. And Napoleon was doing this much better. He has people like Massena and Augereau who are fantastic commanders, doing all of the yeoman's work of the French army is happening under those two men. And Joubert up there is hopefully going to be able to be better than the last guy. Because the last guy wasn't so good, Napoleon got to take him out. That's just how it works. That's how it works now. That's how it works in the real world in 2026. People who aren't doing a good job get replaced. At least you'd hope so. I'd love to see more of that in society. But on that note, I think here's going to be the stopping point. We're going to see some amazing things happen next week. I believe it. We're going to see the end of this conflict. And actually, hold on. He is a hardworking, brave, and exceptionally modest commander. And, like Napoleon, just 27 years old. Young men can sometimes make the course of history move. General Ray is in reserve, south of Lake Garda. General Alvinci has received 14... Hold on. And, like Napoleon, just
We'll,
27 years old.
Get Scallop here for a
Ray is
second.
in reserve south of Lake Garda.
All right, here's where we're going to end off. I think it's going to be a big one. I would love to see you all there. Definitely be sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. Help us get to 250 by the end of the year. We're going to do way more stuff. I've got things going on twice a week. We're going to up the ante at some point. We want to get at this channel at some point 3 videos weekly. We'll talk about different things. We've got this the epic history stuff that's been going on Mondays. Been a fantastic series. I love doing this. We're working through a little bit of inconsistency on Friday. We're gonna open up Wednesday eventually, and have 3 videos a week for a decent amount of time. Definitely help us get to 250 by the end of the year, so that we can keep advancing, just like Napoleon does. See you all next time. Bye bye.